York, the Great Lakes State, it's Late Night with David Letterman. Tonight, Dennis Miller, Los Lobos, and from the National Aquarium in Baltimore, herpetologist Jack Cover, plus Paul Schaefer and the world's most dangerous man. And now, please welcome television's Man of Steel, David Letterman.
We're not here to have fun.
What? We are here. We are here to have fun.
I don't recall being this flattered ever before in my life. Welcome to the show. Good news, ladies and gentlemen. It looks like the balance of power in the world may be back where it was earlier this week. Now, the coup attempt has apparently been put down, and Mikhail Gorbachev is back in power. He actually spoke to President Bush, or as we say in Indiana, Bush. Spoke to President Bush on the phone for about 12 minutes, and he thanked the president for all of his involvement. And then later he called Dan Quayle, our own vice president, and thanked him for staying out of it. So that, it looks like we're just about ready to... Sure. And it's crazy, just when you think you can breathe a little easier, just when you think that the clouds on the political world horizon are parting and there's some sun shining through, we get a little scare here at NBC. Last night, apparently at 11 o'clock, and still the details are kind of sketchy, there was an attempted coup on Arthur Kent's pants. Now, I don't know if you're familiar with this or not. There was a man in Oregon, signed himself up for one of those heart transplant operations that are so popular. and they were able to get him a heart, and they performed the operation. They took out his heart, and they put in the new heart, and then as he's recovering from this surgery, and this is like a big deal, it turns out that they had put in the wrong heart. So what do? Well, they wheel him back down to surgery, take out the wrong heart, and then replace it with the original heart that was supposed to go in there in the first operation. Now, ladies and gentlemen, if you don't learn something from this, you're nuts. Here. If you have one of these heart transplant operations, by all means, hang on to the receipt. What? Nice job. Now I know I'm in show business. Ladies and gentlemen, what a show we have slapped together for you on late notice here tonight. Oh, by the way, tonight's show is a rerun. Young man earlier asked if tonight's show would be a repeat, and I noticed this when he saw himself on the monitor. Yeah, look at that, he's doing it again. Like a young sea lion chasing its mother. Anyway, on the program tonight, we have, Dennis Miller, formerly from Saturday Night Live, is on the show. And, musically tonight we have Los Lobos. And we have a man who is a herpetologist. His name is Jack Cover, and he has brought with him scary flying reptiles. That's right, scary flying reptiles. Now, folks, here, by the way, Paul, that was the name of your first band in high school, wasn't it?
Scary flying.
Yeah, Paul Schaefer. Paul Schaefer, ladies and gentlemen. Scary flying reptiles.
Thank you very much.
Hi, Bailey.
Thank you. I don't want to take anything away from the upcoming Labor Day telethon or anything, but the love that's in this room.
You can feel it, can't you?
Forget about it.
It's a magical
I
evening.
can feel it.
Now, I hate to do this, and I don't want you to think that I'm criticizing a fellow broadcaster, but early this morning,
Never would do that.
I'm dialing around my home set there, craving news of the coup attempt and how it's going in Moscow and the Soviet Union, and I see Dan Rather. And first of all, apparently the CBS people have decided that they would refer to the people involved in the coup as the coup plotters.
The coup
plotters.
The coup plotters.
Yeah, and he said this about 4 times, and it occurred to me that there was a family of coup plotters who lived next to my grandparents when I was a kid.
Yeah.
Yeah, Irene and Vern, the coup plotters. But that. And then he's saying now that the coup plotters had escaped Moscow. And he said they're fleeing Moscow, they're running for their lives, they're going down to the Crimea, they're Thelma and Louise, if you will.
Dan Rather said that?
Yeah.
Oh, man.
Isn't that odd? They're Thelma and Louise.
Yeah.
And President Bush is Terminator 2. And Boris Yeltsin is a city slicker. The coup plotters, Vern and Irene.
I remember them, yeah.
I remember when I was about 6, they were the first ones in that neighborhood to get vinyl siding.
The coup plotters, yeah.
Yeah. Anyway, ladies and gentlemen, we thought because the global situation, the geopolitical scene is, man, it's bubbling as if in a cauldron. Yeah. Ever changing, making us all very nervous. We thought we would share with you tonight 24 hours, one day in the life of the Soviet Union. Paul, do you have a little something for this?
One day in the life of the USSR.
By the way, in a couple of weeks, you'll be hearing all the information about my free concert in Central Park.
I'm excited about that. I'm so glad you're getting back together for that.
Well, I haven't decided if I want to work with myself again. I just think maybe I want to go it alone. I don't know.
I know.
Okay, a day in the life of the Soviet Union. Here we go, 7:30 a.m. Kremlin switchboard operator tells George Bush Gorbachev can't come to the phone because he's taking a really long shower. 8 a.m. Moscow McDonald's opens. 8:05 a.m. Moscow McDonald's runs out of food. 9:15 a.m. Coup leader Gennady Yaneyev uses his temporary power to obtain pair of size 48 Levi's for wife. Yanayev? Thank you very much. 10:15 a.m. Raisa Gorbachev receives really sarcastic note of condolence from Nancy Reagan. 11:15 a.m. Commentator Vladimir Posner holds press conference, announces he was only kidding when he said all those bad things about communism. 11:30 a.m. Kremlin switchboard operator tells George Bush Gorbachev can't come to the phone because he's getting a manicure. 12 noon, new leader Gennady Yaneyev thinks how wonderful it is that in Russia, a lightweight figurehead vice president like himself can suddenly become chief executive. 12:01 p.m., Yaneyev is paralyzed by fear that same thing could happen in the United States. coup plotters. Had 4 kids. A set of twins and 2 regular kids. Now, not that there's... not that, you know what I mean. Yeah. Had the single-order kids. Yeah. A set of twins and single-order kids. 12:30 p.m., Russia's most famous cosmonaut signs endorsement deal for potato-flavored Tang. 1:30 p.m., Michael Dukakis, former Massachusetts governor, announces that he intends to run for the presidency of the Soviet Union. 3 p.m., as chaos in capital spreads, Moscow 7-Eleven reports fewer people obeying rule about no shirts, no shoes, no service. 4 p.m., General Electric's Soviet branch hands out pink slips to employees. Just a little something for us. 6:15 p.m., Kremlin switchboard operator tells George Bush Gorbachev can't come to the phone because he's out back waxing his car. 8:05 p.m., Gorbachev checks his home answering machine to see if he's gotten any messages since he was ousted from power. 8:06 p.m., gets joke message about spot removal for his head. 10:15 p.m., coup leaders fleeing country on Red Army transport planes. They're Thelma and Louise. Are surprised to be seated next to John Sununu, who was visiting a new dentist in the Ukraine. And finally, 11:58 p.m., several key members of failed coup committee turn up driving New York City taxi cabs. There you go. You've waited all day for it. Okay, we're going to do a commercial, then we'll begin the big program. Out with those wacky, zany skits we do from time to time.
Sketches.
I think sometimes people overlook the fact that, geez, you've had some lessons on that piano, haven't you? Very impressive.
Thank you, and how about that band? Thank you very much.
See if you can't look Vern and Irene up in the phone book. We're going to try and call the coup plotters.
That would be nice.
I'll bet they're retired by now.
We haven't checked in with them in a long time.
Down there in Linton, Indiana. No, actually, the coup plotters lived in Swit City, which was near Linton, Indiana. Nice people, damn nice people. Here's the top 10 list for the evening. It's from the Home Office in Lebanon, Pennsylvania. Oh, before we do this, by the way, you know our cameraman Bailey Stortz. He does this. Where is Bailey? Where are you, on 3 tonight? There's Bailey. Every now and then during the summer, before school starts, Bailey has brought his nephew in to watch the show. I think this is pretty cute, and he's here tonight. Over there in the corner, there's Bailey, and then there's Leon Stortz. Leon, nice to see you. How you doing? Thanks for coming in. That's cute. Wait a minute. Bailey's nephew gets his own music?
Well, now he does.
Man alive!
Yeah. You know how it goes?
Now, this is beginning to smell like a coup to me. And believe me, I've smelled, so never mind. All right, let's just keep going. Leon, nice to see you. When do you go back to school?
I graduated.
Oh, good, good. Oh, you're getting ready to play? I know. Boris Yeltsin's top 10 coup-busting tips. He was instrumental in helping to put down the coup. Mm-hmm. Boris Yeltsin's top 10 coup-busting tips, more popular than Gorbachev.
Yeah.
Well, here we go. Number 10, drive around occupied parliament honking horn and shouting, hardliners suck. Number 9, don't be tricked. Before opening door, make sure it really is the Domino's pizza guy. Number 8, keep phoning coup committee asking to speak with Dick Hertz. Well, I don't think you really want to do that. Broadcast Mary Hart's voice into their bunker until they go nuts. Number 6, offer KGB secret American sneaker phone technology. Number 5, tell them they've won trip to the Super Bowl. When they show up to claim tickets, nab them. Number 4, make up knock-knock jokes using the name Gennady. Number 3, tell them you've got Van Damme. Number 2, threaten to tell their folks. And the number 1 Boris Yeltsin coup-busting tips, introduce one of the coup leaders to Yoko Ono. Well, Coup-Busters. The Coup-Busters. Our first guest has just left the cast of Saturday Night Live, and in mid-January, this man will be starting his own talk show. In the meantime, on Sunday, he will be co-hosting the Emmy Awards ceremony. Ladies and gentlemen, here he is, our old friend Dennis Miller. Dennis, come on out. The program. Not just another Tuesday night show or Wednesday night show. And I'll tell you something, everything that Hurricane Bob blew through here, I have not been right.
I know.
It affects the atmospheric pressure. And the atmosphere is what applies pressure to your meninges. And when your meninges is under too much pressure, then wacky things happen. We'll ask the herpetologist. Los Lobos will be out here a little bit later, boys and girls. I wonder if Pee-wee let us use his playhouse now.
I have a feeling he might.
He might. All right. Jack Cover will also be here with his flying reptiles. I'm telling you, I swear to you. Huh? Flying what? That's right. Scary flying reptiles.
Scary flying reptiles.
Yeah, he's got one that will fly, actually. And if it gets loose, they have to go after it with a fire hose, a rake, and a net. Okay, do we have time for this or not? Oh, darn. Well, we were going to show you some New York souvenirs. We'll save those for another night.
We don't have time for those.
Don't have time for that. Hey, don't be babies about it. We'll do a commercial. When we come back, it's us with Los Lobos. So come on.